My name is Olban Stephen. I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer of Beauty Contact Incorporation, based here in Dubai, operating out of the United Arab Emirates. And our main business is fragrances,
I believe you've tied up with Cadillac Motors.
more so, as a licensee on a global basis to design, develop, produce, and market the Cadillac fragrance collection.
Right. Could you tell me a bit about your background and how long you've been in Dubai, your business? We'd start with the first one.
Okay, I came to Dubai in the year 1985. Came in pretty young, was offered a job in a shop at the Gold Souk in Dubai. So I started working over there as a salesman, as a secretary. I was in the warehouse, I did everything possible at that time. Respected the contract for 3 years. In '88 I thought I had enough and I thought I had some scope to grow. So got out of the company in a nice way and looked around, managed to find a job with the Altair Group, a company called Qadir Trading in the perfume business. That's how I started way back in 1988 in the perfume business. Started as a sales executive. Within the year was promoted to the level of a brand manager. Stayed with them till 1995. Resigned from there in 1995, and then I was taken on as the general manager for Rivoli Perfumes, the Rivoli Group. I was a GM with them for 3 years. In the year 1999, I made a proposal to the owner of Paris Gallery, if you've heard of them, to set up a new company in the distribution business. So I was a third tenant, I think, at the Emirates Towers when the tower was completed. Set up an office called Gulf Beauty International. And I left them in the year 2002, early 2002, to set up my own company, which is Beauty Contacting.
Wow. So you're totally self-made and
Proudly, yes, totally, with no family, no friends, no relatives, nobody here in the country.
so as an entrepreneur who's been here for a while, how has conducting business in Dubai changed? Do you think it's changed for the better over the last few years?
As far as I'm concerned, yes, definitely for the better.
Okay, in what way?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because for me, basically, my focus is now on a global basis, so it helps a lot, especially when it comes to, imports and exports. For me, as a trading hub, yes. Okay. Whereas till a couple of years ago, I was still a distributor, where I was importing from outside, and I was a master distributor for Paris Hilton perfumes, the Guess perfumes, Paris Hilton watches. That was different because it was more, region based. Now, for me, going on a global basis, it's helped a lot because I find it so easy here to operate out of Dubai, particularly, and since I know the ins and outs of the country, it makes it even more easier.
Do you also feel that because the profile of Dubai, well, it's gone through ups and downs, but generally speaking, this region's profile has risen. So does that mean that you're taken more seriously as a businessman approaching the international market?
I am definitely, again, because you see, Dubai has gone through its ups and downs. In my eyes, I think I've not had any effect of something that where I can actually be bothered about. To me, because number one, my focus was not purely sales here in the country. So when I go to the international markets, yes, everybody does ask me, hey, what's wrong in Dubai, what's happening, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, I tell them absolutely nothing. It's exactly what's happening around the world. It's nothing different. So real estate was affected, maybe, yes, but I don't see business affected that badly. Luxury, yes, to a certain extent, no denying. But consumer goods, it's still going on. Everything is still going on.
So at a time like this, then, do you think it would make sense to bring out a luxury brand in the market?
Fortunately for me, I won't say introducing, I started a campaign about the Cadillac fragrance way back in November 2006. So the whole of 2007, we did a lot of publicity, I would say gimmicks, okay, if I'm right, to get the name out there. When I went and exhibited in France, in the United States, in Singapore, I did some events, some sponsorships. So people did actually know of the brand and they were waiting for it. But bad luck had its way. In 2008, when I was all set to launch, was when the crisis hit. That's when I did suffer, yes, because that year, a lot of my orders actually got cancelled by the end of the year. So December 2008, I lost like probably 60-70% of my orders. So I didn't produce. 2009, I decided not to wait anymore. I went full swing ahead. What I produced, I sold.
So basically, it's you out here, a UAE-based entrepreneur. Is that a first for something of this scale? With an international brand, a car brand like that?
I would speak on my behalf and the business I am in. I think yes, because As a licensee on a global basis, probably regional basis, you'd have a lot of other people. I don't think I've come across any other licensee that's got such a huge license agreement with a huge company like General Motors, and to sign up a global license and operate out of Dubai. I think it's something that I'm personally very proud of, and I haven't come across anyone personally in this business like this.
And how do you plan to tackle the competition and the other car brands and their extended lines?
Very simple. There's no competition at all. Cadillac is Cadillac. I mean, it's a car that there's no comparison. Like yesterday, I was in Qatar, and I saw the latest Cadillac. Like we were just talking to GM over here. It's such a beautiful car, and they were telling me that when people are crying, there's no business, right? They told me that the first 3 shipments that are on the way are pre-sold.
Okay.
I don't think you hear this with many other car brands around. Yeah, and there's no comparison. The car is a fantastic car, not just luxurious, even in price points, pretty affordable. It's a beautiful car. It's a ladies' car. It's a men's car. It's not for the old people like in the past. There are other perfume brands with car names. Yes, Jaguar perfumes. I launched that line way back in, I think, 1989 or 1990.
Okay.
As a distributor locally here. There was a Corvette brand which didn't do well at all. There was a Chevrolet, didn't do well. But there's one brand doing very well, is Ferrari. Besides that, if you heard of the Hummer perfume,
Right.
I launched that perfume in the Middle East in the year 2005.
Okay.
That was a super success.
Okay.
And now Cadillac is a roaring success. That's different. So
So wouldn't there be any conflict of interest with all these?
absolutely not. It's just they're different car brands with different branding, different design concepts behind them, different age groups. In my case with Cadillac, we went all out and said the brand is for all age groups. It's not specifically for an older generation or a younger generation.
Men, women?
We've started with the men's line. The ladies' line is under development.
Okay.
In the next 2 months, we'll roll out the first one. I've got the initial bottles, yes. But the actual product will roll out in about 2-3 months.
That's interesting. And well, obviously the Middle East has, I would say, probably the maximum luxury cars per capita
Yes.
anywhere
true.
in the world.
Very true.
So, do you think that in some way would help your cause?
It definitely would. The reason being that people have identified with car brands to a certain extent, right? So Cadillac falls in that category, which is very upmarket and selective. There is recognition. So if I brought out a perfume called Toyota, I don't think I'd be able to sell anything. I do know of a company that's launched a Lexus brand, which is more mass market,
Right.
and that's probably very affordable. I think it's a $4 or $5 product, so that sells pretty well. We are in the $66 product. So.
Okay.
Well, my goal, let's put it that way, is to be in the top few companies that are licensees for big brands.
Right.
I've started off with Cadillac. I am negotiating a couple of other brands. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which one, but in a few days I would be able to tell you. It's a huge, popular actor, a Hollywood actor,
Okay.
who is really huge. It's just that I need to wait till I sign on certain documentation before I disclose it. Besides that, I'm also doing the Madonna fragrance, but it's not the Madonna of today.
Okay.
It's the classic vintage Madonna, let's put it that way. It's called Madonna Nudes 1979.
Okay.
It's the copyrights to use her pictures and the name of photographs that were taken of her way back in 1979
Right.
by this famous photographer called Schreiber,
Okay.
who is even today exhibiting those pictures worldwide, and he sells them, I think, for 30,000-40,000 pounds a picture, a black and white picture. So we're given the rights for that as a license agreement to create a fragrance collection.
So you're not a retailer, you're a manufacturer.
We are, as a licensee, we design, develop, produce.
Okay.
When I say sell, we don't do end consumer sales. We appoint distributors in every country. So there's one distributor per country all over the world. And it's their job to go to trade and trade to end consumers.
Where does all this happen? The design and the development of the perfume?
A
Is
lot
that
of it
here?
in-house in my own office. My wife happens to be my partner in the business, so she's my boss at the office as well as at home. A lot of ideas come out from her, obviously. She does a lot of things in-house herself, like putting on presentations and plans and design concepts and stuff. Besides that, we have designers who work for us. So the first Cadillac bottle was designed by a French designer out of France. The new ladies line of Cadillac is being designed by a French company right here in Dubai itself. and all the production takes place in Miami, so it's an American-made product. And then from there we bring the goods back to Dubai to ship to the rest of the world.